Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you, and the headline of the news reads: Sowore rearrest. US threaten to review her bilateral relations with Nigeria as NBA demands immediate suspension of DSS boss. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. All right, let's listen to the details of the news.
The United States government is set to intervene in the ongoing court trial of Omoyele Sowore, a candidate in the last presidential elections who is facing trial on charges of treason, money laundering, and cyber-stalking. In a public statement by Bob Menendes, U.S. Senator and ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, he reaffirmed the comments made by the Amnesty International describing Sowore as a prisoner of justice. According to him, I fear that the blatant harassment of Sowore, an activist, a journalist, whose only crime appears to be exercising his freedom of expression, is becoming semantic of increasing closing the political and civic space in Nigeria. The Nigerian court has twice ordered his release on bail, and the DSS openly defied the court order, each time leading me to conclude that either Nigeria no longer respects the rule of law or President Muhammad Buhari is woefully out of touch with what the agents of government are doing with his name. This is unacceptable in a country that calls itself democracy. Journalists who risk their lives to expose the truth should be celebrated, not incarcerated. He said it is unacceptable to treat a husband and a father of a U.S. citizen with blatant cruelty. He went further to say that this blatant carriage of justice is symptomatic of closing political and media space. He also said that in a concerted effort to secure his release on behalf of Sowore's family living in New Jersey, my office has been working closely with the State Department as Mr. Sowore's case languished following his arbitrary arrest way back in August, and now, while we continue to seek immediate answers about Mr. Sowore's treatment and conditions in jail, I will further engage directly with U.S. Ambassador Mary Beth Leonard in Abuja to raise the case at the highest levels of Nigerian government so that Buhari administration get the message that we are committed to defending Mr. Sowore's rights.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Bar Association has demanded immediate suspension of the Director General of Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, over the style used in rearresting Omoyele Sowore in court premises. The NBA, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Kunle Edun, said it was greatly dismayed at the exhibition of primitivity, thuggery, insane passion for lawlessness, contempt, and disregard for the rule of law by the agents of the DSS. The body of lawyers in the country also said that it finds it disgraceful that this court riot, occasioned by the high-handedness and insensitivity of the security operative, interrupted judicial proceeding and made the presiding judge to abandon judicial proceeding because of safety concern. NBA urges President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure that the federal government and agencies under it obey court order, as the display of disrespect of the court by the DSS is legendary and unrivaled. The organization called on all Nigerians to stand up and ensure that no government or any of its agencies disrespect the constitution of the country. The statement added, "We call for the immediate suspension of the Director General of the Department of State Security from office. We make this demand bearing in mind the fact that the DSS, under his leadership, had established itself as a brutish and irresponsible agency that derives immense pleasure from violating the fundamental rights of Nigerians and disrespecting court order. The National Assembly should review the law setting up the DSS and indeed all security agencies in Nigeria with a view to repositioning them to be more responsible and responsive to the public. That's the news. And this is really a critical issue and a critical time for Nigeria, as so many reactions have emerged as a result of, what has happened to Sowore. The greatest of it is what you've just heard from the Senator of United States. I personally watched the video, and it was really disheartening seeing Payemi Sowore, that's the wife of Sowore. She was almost in tears and said for about 125 days she has not set her eyes on the husband, and the only time she had the privilege of calling the husband was last night when the husband was released from detention, only some hours later to see the husband brutally handled by DSS agents in the courtroom, which is a clear display of no respect for the rule of law. And she had to walk in line with Bob, that's Senator Bob Menendes, who is soliciting for the government of Nigeria to look into the issue of releasing Sowore so that they can still so that there will be an understanding of respect for the tenets of democracy. And right now, you've heard what the Nigerian Bar Association has said, that they are not really happy with what is currently going on, and that these guys must be curbed. And the first way of curbing them is to see that the DSS boss is being suspended. But we're just wondering, how would that be possible? Because I'm beginning to think, what kind of balls do these guys really have to go into the courtroom and place arrests of this Sowore? It's a clear indication that they are having their strength from somewhere, and I don't think the president will keep quiet over this case, because this clearly it's going to be one of the low points of his administration. As you've heard from the NBA, they open up that this has never happened in the history of Nigeria, in the history of democracy, where the judiciary is being played down upon, where the rule of law has little or no significance. Barging into a court and arresting one who was standing trial forcefully. It's a clear display of no respect for the rule of law, and what may be considered to be a desecration of the sanctity of the court. And these are some of the things that must be taken into consideration so that there may not be a repeat of it. As I did say before now, that if there is a state disobedience to the rule of law, very soon we are going to have a civic disobedience also, because the truth of the matter is that we are queuing up behind our leaders. Whatever thing they do, we believe that it is highly respected, it is constitutional, and it is very legitimate. So by the time you watch this happening, we will have a case whereby there are court proceeding going on, and then the family of the man or the family of a woman may just bash in and throw stone at the judges just because they have been looked down upon. And the step taken by the Nigerian Bar Association is a good step, and they must be very forceful about this. I strongly believe that President Muhammadu Buhari will not fold his hand to watch this happen, and also owing to the fact that his second, who is Yemi Osibanjo, also will try to do his underground work to see that this whole thing is being corrected. If not for anything, for the fact that he is a senior advocate of Nigeria, this thing must be corrected. And one of the reasons why this issue must really be looked into is that it has gone global. It has nothing to do with Nigerians. Again, Nigerians, in all respect, they have responded. Now, United States Senator highly respected senator, has decided to talk about this and is demanding that Sowore should be released immediately so that he can go back to his family, that they cannot fold their hand and watch the husband and father of a U.S. citizen being treated with no respect, with no regard, that he must be released. And I think all of this must be considered so that Nigeria at least should have a face-off out there. I don't know, my colleague has something to say in respect to this.
What I quickly would pick up, excuse me, what I easily would pick up from the statement by the Senator Bob Menendes is the fact that he said something quite unique. And let me quote him very quickly. He said that Nigeria is either Nigeria no longer respect the rule of law, or President Muhammad Buhari is woefully out of touch with what the agents of government are doing with his name. Like we did say earlier on in some of our feeds, check out our video, we said that it would have been appropriate now that the President of Nigeria should do a public hearing, a public announcement, either to distance himself, dissociate himself from the act the DSS committed, because honestly, it shows impunity, shows high-handedness, it shows that they have no regard whatsoever to the one of the arms of government, which is the judiciary. How can 2 times they've asked for Sowore to be released, twice they refused it, and the 3rd time they released only to take him back in a commando style? It clearly shows that there's a disregard to one of the arms. And being that he is in another arm of the government, I would have expected that by now, and which is what even the senator of high repute in the United States is also expecting, that either he makes a statement, or even if his vice should have made a statement. Up till now, Lai Mohammed have not said anything. Festus Keyamo have not said. Even Loretta, the social media aide, have not said anything. The additional, those also the media persons of the presidency, have not said anything. All of a sudden, it looks as if Nigerians are talking, but the presidency, the leadership have not said anything. To the point that even international body are already reacting. So I don't know, is it that because such balls can only come from something, I don't know where the DSS boss is getting his balls from, but we would have expected that the president of Nigeria should start talking to us. Let's know what is going on. And yes, the fact that NBA have decided to call forth the immediate suspension clearly shows that they have their right and they want to exercise it. But I'm really worried. Who is going to sack him? Or is going to immediately suspend him? Maybe the Senate will have to use their power here, because there are 3 arms. Maybe the Senate will have to use their power and immediately look into it, as if they will not play politics on this. But be that as may, we are Nigerians are watching, like the senator has said. The world is, New Jersey is watching, United States is watching, the world is watching.
All right, that's what we're going to wrap it up. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. What do you have to say about the statement by Bob of Menendes? Do you think that is a senator of the United States? Do you think that this may be a resultant effect, negative resultant effect of the statement he has made? Do you think that there may be a reassessment of the bilateral relationship between Nigeria and US as a result of holding down Sowore? Do well to interact in our comment section, and also